Yeah, so it was definitely a challenge for me to feel comfortable and confident that I would be able to provide just as good of a massage as someone that's been practicing much longer than me.
Yeah, I mean, I would have thought you've been doing it for quite a long time. That's how good you are. But, in that first session, yeah. Hence we keep coming back. Hence I keep coming back.
Yeah. And it did take a lot of people telling me that to kind of feel like, okay, like maybe I do know what I'm doing. And just trusting myself and trusting that school has taught me what I know, and just my own intuition has taught me what I need to know to provide a good massage. And here I was, straight out of school, like 0 years of experience basically. So I had a lot of imposter syndrome, and it probably took 1 to 2 years to get over it.
Hi everyone. Yes, welcome back to Zen and Now, the podcast exploring wellness, mental health, and mindful living. Today I'm joined by Malena Yan, a registered massage therapist dedicated to helping people relieve tension, move better, and heal through therapeutic touch. We'll dive into to the benefits of massage therapy, how stress affects the body, and Melena's approach to holistic healing, and what interests her. So let's get started. Welcome to the show, Melina.
Hi, Kishan. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So for viewers and listeners who aren't aware of who Melina is, can you just give us just an elevator pitch of, who Melina is?
Yeah, so I'm a massage therapist in Ontario, Canada. I've been practicing for about 4 years now, and before that I did my undergrad at U of T for pharmacology, and before that I was living in Vancouver. So after I moved to Toronto, I kind of went straight into massage therapy. I love doing anything active. I love being outdoors, hiking, traveling, and in my spare time I also like doing little arts and crafts.
Nice.
I'll kind of go through like hobbies all the time, from crocheting. I was crocheting earlier, and then recently I've been what else? Knitting a little bit, but I'll kind of cycle through like that. So
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I guess with your profession, your hands are quite the tools.
I do use my hands a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Very crocheting, and it's not very easy, right? It's something. It's not a very easy hobby or an art to, or is it something that comes naturally to you?
It doesn't come naturally. I definitely watched a lot of YouTube videos about it.
Okay.
And over time, it just, once your hands kind of memorize the pattern, it gets a little bit easier.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, muscle memory then takes over.
Yeah. Same with massage, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah. And when did the journey to massage begin? Where did the excitement? Where did the passion start? Was it straight while you were studying, or is it something that just was within you?
I think it was kind of within me a little bit. I always did a lot of self-massage for myself because I was very active growing up. In high school, I did a lot of dancing, and so I was always sore. My back would always be sore, and I'd always be wanting massages, but my mom didn't let me. So I would just self-massage. I never really considered it as a career option, really, until later in university. In my first year of university, I was doing a lot of yoga at a yoga studio, and I actually met a massage therapist there. And she really was the one that kind of presented it as a career option for me.
Right.
And so I met her in my first year of university, and I kind of lost contact with her until my 4th year. And that was when I emailed her and I was like, oh, tell me more about massage, because I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do post-grad. And I just asked her a very basic question. Like, I was curious about her career, and she gave me such a beautiful response, and it was so thought out. She was answering like 20 questions, even though I asked her just one simple question. And it really gave me the push to look more into this as a career option. And so I guess that's kind of where it came from. So I wouldn't say it's been that long, but it was a strong option, and
Right.
I kind of just went with it and see where it would go from there. Massage would be a 2-year course, so you can go straight into it from high school if you really wanted to, but I would say you do need a certain amount of like emotional maturity to go through massage school. And
Why is that?
I think just having the comfort of touch and being comfortable with the practice of it.
Right.
Yeah, I think a certain level of maturity is involved. Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. I didn't know like
Yeah.
it takes that much of, maturity to
I
feel
think
comfortable. I guess what you mean. I understand what you mean. Yeah.
I personally wouldn't have been comfortable with it. I think if I went straight out of high school, but in university, I definitely felt more comfortable with it. And even at the start of the massage school, like even at the start of the course, I was slowly, gradually getting more comfortable with it over
Okay.
time.
Any challenges you faced, while transitioning from your previous profession or
So
previous studies towards
yeah,
towards massage therapy, and then also after like getting into the program, what
yeah,
was the biggest
definitely.
challenges or hurdles you faced?
So I think I can think of a couple. From university to massage school, that wasn't too much of a shift for me because I was still studying. I pretty much graduated and then I went back to studying. So that wasn't too big of a transition for me. I think in massage school, one of the things we had to do was practical exams, and that was definitely new. I'm so used to doing like multiple choice or
Yeah.
written exams. You're just quiet, looking down, studying. But for massage, you have to practice, because it's like a very active career.
Yeah, profession. Yeah.
It's an active profession. Yeah. So speaking, figuring out how to speak to your client, and that was also part of our practical exams. So that was a little bit of a challenge. It almost felt like acting a little bit. You're just like practicing how to act.
With a
So
sense of emotional touch.
yeah, definitely. And aside from that, I found school to be pretty good. I didn't have too much trouble. I did do school over COVID, so there was a little bit of a struggle with that. Instead of 2 years, it was more of a 3-year course because of that.
Obviously,
And
yeah, of course.
it is such a hands-on. We do so much of our schooling through practical, in a practical sense. So
Right.
that did have to pause for a little bit, and we slowly got back into it.
Yeah.
So it did drag on a little bit longer than I would have expected. And after schooling, I would say is when I felt the most challenge was transitioning from being a student into a full-time practicing RMT. And I think people don't really talk about the shift.
Yeah.
Because with RMT, it's like once you're out of school, once you do your test, you're registered, and
Okay.
you're just like any other RMT who's been practicing for 20 years. And here I was straight out of school, like 0 years of experience, basically. So I had a lot of imposter syndrome,
Okay.
and it probably took 1 to 2 years to get over it. I think I probably met you when I was in my second year of practice or so.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, and you probably don't even know that, but
No, I wouldn't have thought
you would
so
have
when
no
I met you,
idea.
no.
Yeah, yeah. So it was definitely a challenge for me to feel comfortable and confident that I would be able to provide just as good of a massage as someone that's been practicing much longer than me.
Yeah, I mean, I would have thought you've been doing it for quite a long time. That's how good you are. Or, in
Thank
that
you.
first session. Yeah.
Hmm.
Hence we keep coming back. Hence I keep coming back.
Yeah, yeah. And it did take a lot of people telling me that to kind of be like, okay, like maybe I do know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And just trusting myself and trusting that school has taught me what I know, and just my own intuition has taught me what I need to know to provide a good massage. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
Sorry that you felt that way. It couldn't have been easy to
Oh,
actually work through that whilst also trying to provide a level of professional service. It takes
yeah, I
it
think
takes a
so.
brave person to actually also just acknowledge it firstly, to say it
Hmm.
out loud,
Hmm.
and so it's you also mindful that okay, I'm not 100% where I want to be. I'm struggling with something, but I am still able to give my clients the best service that I can, and like you said, I wouldn't have known that you were actually struggling with that at that point because I didn't feel it at all.
Hmm. Yeah, fake it till you make it, right? Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I would say that was probably the hardest for me, and it's still something that I kind of think about now and then.
Mhm.
It's like, during the massage, I'll just think like, oh, are they enjoying it? Am I doing anything wrong? And it's hard to tell sometimes if someone's not really giving
Right.
any response. And for the most part, people they're not responding because they're so relaxed,
Mm.
or they're in their own head, but I'm
Yeah.
also in my
It
own head. So yeah, it's kind of just calming myself down. Yeah.
is snoring part of the notion that you're doing a
Sometimes,
good job.
sometimes, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have experiences where the massage wasn't that great, but I mean, like you said, you're in your own head.
Mhm.
You just on the table, you actually just go there presently, mind, body, and let the give yourself to the practice as well, just as much as you do to providing the practice. I think that's where the synergy comes, and
I think so.
you retain that client going forward because it's so important because it's not just a relaxing technique to or relaxing way to refresh yourself. It also goes both ways. You have to have synergy. You have to have both like a little bit of a comfortable relationship with your practitioner to
Yeah.
actually get the best service that you require. And
Yeah.
there's a human element to it as well.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think the best massage I can give is if my patient's able to trust me fully, and just completely accept the experience. So, hmm
Yeah.
yeah.
Any misconceptions in your thought from your thinking that what if people when they just say somebody's never had a massage in their life and then now all of a sudden okay, maybe I'm gonna try it, and they come to you, or if you've known about the stories, like how do they feel?
Yeah, I think one of them would be that it's only for relaxation. It's, I think that's a pretty common misconception is massage, doesn't have many other benefits outside of relaxation. So, but people come for a variety of reasons. Could be to help with sleep, for a complement for their sports rehab, if they're really athletic or they're always active.
Yeah.
It'd be for stress relief, I see a lot of people with tension from desk work. Um,
Yeah, present.
it could be for their mental health. Maybe they're dealing with something really stressful in their life, and massage can help relieve some of that tension. I think a lot of people will feel tension in their muscles from stress, and it's like holding stress tension. Yeah. So
And
not
your
just for relaxation.
okay, and your techniques, what is your go-to techniques? What is it that you are comfortable?
I would describe my style as being quite slow and broad pressure. I think I use fairly broad pressure, and I like to work fairly deep. And
So more like deep tissue, more towards deep tissue.
yeah, I would say so.
Okay. Okay.
And anything that kind of stretches a little bit as well and works between the skin and muscle layer. There's like a nice layer of connective tissue, and sometimes it gets stuck in one position. It gets like a little sticky between the muscle and the skin. So it's just nice to release that. And I think it really helps you feel a bigger difference. Yeah, not just with the muscle.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned self-massaging. Now, I know a lot of people, have those guns now, massage guns, or they have those rollers that they use nowadays. But I mean, obviously, you didn't have those apparatuses back in the day. And how did you actually like even know what you were doing at the time, or was it just something that you felt?
I just felt it was definitely something I just felt. I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah.
It was more like I found a spot that was painful or that was sore, and I would just work into it. Whether it was correct or incorrect, I have no idea.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I kind of like also, I use a bouncing ball, for like tension mostly between the shoulder blades and the lats. It's really because it's a difficult place to get to, with your hands.
It is. Yeah. It is. Yeah.
So if anyone is like looking for, a simple way to just relieve some tension or like a knot, a bouncing ball is a good option.
Definitely. We always recommend a lacrosse ball. Yeah. Or like a tennis ball even.
Yeah.
They're good options.
Yeah. And when did the imposter syndrome start to begin to become like, okay, it's something that I feel, but I'm okay with it now?
I think between the first and the second year, when I started feeling busier, just like busy enough that I wouldn't think about it as much. And I think it kind of gradually just faded. I just stopped thinking too much about it.
Right.
And I would come home from work and I wouldn't feel as fatigued, and I wouldn't feel like negative thoughts, really. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I would sometimes come home from like a day of massaging, and I would feel like negative about it. Like, did I do a good job today? Or I would be very stuck in the thought that I need to make everyone feel better after their treatments.
But you yourself are not feeling it.
Kind of changing my frame of thought to making sure that I still feel okay and I can still provide a good treatment. Yeah.
And how do you self-motivate yourself? Because I mean, what's your go-to when you're feeling a little bit, apprehensive of your day? Do you go home and you're like, do you have a practice that you take on, or is it something that you just sit with it?
I think I'll sit with it a little bit, and I think just like working out in my own time helps a lot. Maybe going for a walk or some yoga, just some exercise. I think that all really helps. And other times I'll just think about what I did that day that made people feel good.
Right.
And yeah, that also helps.
Yeah. Like I know therapists have therapists. Do you also have somebody that you go to?
I do sometimes. I'll see my friend once in a while, my massage therapy friends, but probably not often enough. A lot of therapists, secretly, we are pretty bad at self-care. And I would say I'm not the best with self-care myself. Right. I'm telling everyone to do their exercises and such and do their therapy, and here I am. But yeah.
I think you're so, it's because you're like practicing the whole day. You kind of like want to also take a break from thinking about the practice and, just be in that activity that you are. When you leave the practice, you just want to be walking. You don't want to be thinking about anything else. You just want to be, say, cooking or having a good time with your friends. You just don't want to,
Yeah, perhaps.
shutting down. Yeah, it's about just like detaching from the what
Yeah.
you've been doing the whole day and focusing on doing something else or even just resting.
I do find if I ever do get massages, I'm constantly just thinking about, oh, I wonder what they're doing right now. And my brain is still on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you find it a challenge just to let go?
A little bit. And I guess it would take a couple of minutes to stop thinking that way, and then I can just fully enjoy the massage or yeah.
Yeah. How do you take care of your hands? It's the most important part of your practice.
My hands, I would say I actually don't get too much hand pain. I feel the most pain in my neck, shoulders from working. Interestingly enough, a lot in my shoulders. And my hands don't feel too bad. I try to use my elbow and my ulna as much as possible as well. I think that definitely helps. And over time, my hands have definitely just gotten stronger with practice.
Okay.
I would say there were times that they would hurt more towards the beginning, and just over time, it hasn't been too much of an issue as of recent.
Right.
I would do some self massage for my hands. I would say that's the most I would do, and also sometimes an ice bath for my hands.
Just so just like a bowl of water. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That also feels really nice. Yeah.
It's just to relieve all the lactic acid buildup and relieve the tension that you've had throughout the day, just walking and needling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Do you see a shift or a connection now between, there's so much of wellness going on. Where do you feel massage therapy fits into that spectrum?
I think that's a very deep question. It really depends on what people want from massage and what their ultimate goal is, I would say. So they can come in for massage for a variety of reasons, like we were saying before. And I think it just really depends on how that fits into their wellness and their self-care. And that's where massage would come in. So if they were like an athlete per se, and they want massage as a complement to helping them recover faster, then that's where massage would come in. If someone is really stressed with work, they might come for massage just as a one-off.
Right.
It's like this is their stress period and they just want to relax, relieve tension. Then it could just be a one-off massage. Or it could be the constant pain in their neck and shoulders from desk work. Then maybe they're coming in once every 2 weeks, once every month for their regular maintenance treatment, and that just prevents them from feeling the tension too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's so integrated now. I don't think it's just something that people well, back in the day would be like, oh, it's like a fancy retreat you go for, like a whole day package. Yeah. I think it's such an important aspect or such an important practice to have as a self-care routine. Because growing up, I don't think we've ever had massages. I like myself. I was very active and continuously, using my body, my mind, physically, mentally, and there was no time to rest. There was no time unless your mom massages you here and there. When you have when you're injured and you need a bit of love and care. But that was about it. And then growing up, when you reach certain ages, then you learn about these practices, and then you start to explore them a little bit more. And having the opportunity to just have that self-care routine part of it as part of your wellness program or your wellness journey, I think it's very important, and it should be incorporated for everybody at least once,
Yeah.
or even
Yeah.
once in 3 months, once in 4 months. It does make a difference.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say that another thing is a lot of people will say, well, I don't feel pain, so, or I don't have any injuries, so I don't really need massage.
Yeah.
I guess that's the dichotomy of massage being only for relaxation. But with that, it's like you can use massage as preventative care a lot of the times. You don't need to feel, you don't need to feel injured or pain just to get a massage. You can get it for preventative purposes. And I think that's where massage is the strongest, is when you're using it as a preventative measure, going every month, every 2 months for a regular maintenance treatment.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this short
That's where
such an important point you make there about preventative measure as a preventative measure, because some of us wait till something breaks or something happens
exactly, yeah,
to take action, instead of I just had the discussion yesterday, and I mentioned that why does something have to break or something has to happen for you to take action? But we feel so secure that, okay, like you said, somebody feels like, I don't feel anything, I don't need to do anything, I'm okay. And when that say knot arrives, or that pinched nerve, or just tension, and that's when you start to take action. But if you've done the preventative measure before, you could have prevented it altogether.
Yeah. And it's hard sometimes, because if nothing's happening, you feel like, well, I guess massage isn't working, but maybe nothing happening is a good thing. So it can be hard to keep that maintenance if you feel like nothing is really changing.
And I know a lot of people are now introducing cupping, acupuncture into their self-care. Do you feel those are on what level do you think those are in terms of where massage is, and then where those practices are?
I would say they're similar, different. I would say cupping and massage, you'll see them quite often together. And it's kind of two different ways of getting blood circulation. So any way that you can get the blood circulating is probably going to be beneficial for the muscle tissue and just general tension release. Acupuncture, I'm not as familiar with, I would say. I've had a little bit done, and I do think it has helped for my arms and my hands before. But I would say I don't know too much, or I don't really know enough about it to say too much.
No, fair enough. I understand. I think I've had it a couple of times just for like injury purposes, to recover with the electrodes as well, on my hand. Those kind of helped. I think I did it for my back as well when I had lower back issues when I was younger. So I'll share a story with you. I actually was playing cricket, and like in baseball, you have the catcher at the back.
Yeah.
So in cricket, we have wicket keepers who catches the ball with gloves. So I was that person, and I think I dived to the left, and I felt my lower back just like totally give in. I couldn't walk. I couldn't stand up. I was in so much pain. I still have those issues now, but it's less. I think because I've started to take so much of preventative care, the occurrence is less and less. But it will never go away, unfortunately, because there's been so much of damage already. But I remember going to this practitioner, and all he used was his hands and tiger balm. That was it. And the heat and the technique that he used really helped subside the pain and for a bit of for a while. I'll never forget that experience because it it taught me that you didn't have to have all this fancy equipment or the latest technology to heal something that is broken. You could have, it's just the personal element of it, the personal human touch, and giving himself to the practice. That was his way of healing people like yourself. And another practitioner I know also back in South Africa, she uses her hands quite a bit in terms of healing, and you feel it. Like after the session, you have this, your body is just like in total relaxation, but it's sore, if you know what I'm saying. But it's the personal touch that I think is important when you have these experiences. But people who actually like really get in there with their hands, because energy healing is also part of it, right? You yourself are giving yourself to that practice, and then the client feels it, if you agree.
I do. Yeah, I do think so. There's something that just connects patient to practitioner. I think I used to feel a lot more at the beginning of my practice. It felt like a lot of energy. I was giving out a lot of energy, not retaining enough, and I felt very fatigued from that. So, yeah, I do think there is some energy exchange.
Yeah. And in terms of, your daily routine, given that you're on your feet most of the day, you're also very busy. How do you prepare for the day?
I think it depends on the day. So for my longer days, I probably won't do very much in the morning. I probably make a nice cup of coffee, sit for a little bit, and then I'm off to work.
Oh,
I think that's pretty much it.
Simple.
I know, it's very simple.
So that's the best sometimes. You don't have to have a rigorous routine in the morning to get ready.
Yeah. It's a quick routine. And I have some half days where I'm working just afternoon onwards. And for those days, I try to get up, do a nice workout, maybe sit down for lunch, and then I'll head off to work after that.
Okay, so it's a nice ease into the day. You're not too stretched. And do you travel far for work?
I've been biking to work.
Oh, nice.
So it's about 10-minute bike, 30-minute walk. If I don't bike, then I'll walk. Okay. And it's I guess it's a nice walk just to relax it, or I guess it can also be my warm up.
I mean, given that we do work in the same building, so I understand like the journey. Like you in the West Wing, East Wing. I'm in the West Wing.
Oh, okay. I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm on the other side.
Oh, okay. I just always assumed that you live close by. But
yeah, but I work on the other side of the building.
Okay.
Yeah. Now I myself too, in the summer, bike to work. Winter time, sometimes I would walk, or I would take the bus, depending on the weather. It's nice also, we have the water here, so it makes it easier to, have a bit of nature with us as well.
Yeah, and the bike path is quite nice along the water.
Yeah. In terms of aftercare, do you tell your patients, okay, take it easy, relax, depending on what they're going through?
Depending on what they go through, definitely. Right. I think I can usually tell if someone wants advice on self-care, or if they kind of just want to go off and come back for their maintenance treatment. So I think for those that want a little bit more suggestion, I'll maybe give them a couple of stretches or some strengthening exercises depending on what they need.
All right.
If it was just like a lot to process in the massage, then I'll usually tell them to take it easy, especially if we did a lot of deeper work.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And trends, do you have to also be, like, it's continuously evolving? Do you have to keep up with the latest trends, or do you have to like continuously research, do those kind of things?
I would say a little bit. I would try to look into something new if I've never heard of it or I'm not sure what it refers to, then maybe I'll look into it and in case someone were to ask me. Um, but oh, see my cat
That's
ground.
okay.
um, in
Wants to join the call.
for yes, in terms of some continuing with learning, I think that is pretty important. Otherwise, I would start to feel stagnant if I'm constantly doing the same things. So it would be nice to do like maybe one course a year and maybe looking back at my notes from massage school every once in a while, just
Right.
for a refresher. Yeah, sometimes I find that I'm doing a lot of the same things if I'm seeing the same types of patients with desk work and they just want like back, neck, shoulders, that type of thing, then once in a while I'll get someone with an injury that I haven't really worked with in a long time, then I would want to refer to my notes.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
I think we've touched on this already. With the emergence of technology, like we said, foam rollers, massage therapy guns. Do you feel like eventually we'll get to a stage where most people will depend on those apparatuses, or do you feel like a lot of people will still prefer, the hands-on experience?
I would say hands-on is definitely, it makes a bigger difference.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I agree.
And especially it really depends on how you're using the apparatuses. If you're using them correctly, first of all, I think that makes a huge difference. And having the personal connection, I think it does make a difference. And having someone that you're trusting, it's definitely an important part of the therapy process.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
No,
and
I agree with you. I
the
agree with you there.
apparatuses, they can do so much for you. And as technology grows, I think the gap kind of grows as well, and human touch becomes even more important.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I think we'll want more human touch in that way once the robots rise.
Yeah. Unless
Yeah,
one day they're able to create like some kind of AI for massage, but
I mean, I think they
it's
probably
all.
have. They probably have those hands, and they're like. But I don't think you can replace instincts. I don't think you could replace that feeling, that touch, that emotion. That it's like fighter pilots, Fighter
applying
pilots.
pressure or
Yes.
applying it in the correct places. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like fighter pilots, right? You can't take away those human instincts when they're in a situation to critically think and to what to do in that situation.
A lot of the times I'm responding to someone's physical reactions, and it can be so subconscious for them as well. It's like they don't even realize they're doing it, but I'll be like, oh, it seems like this is uncomfortable. Yeah.
I mean, we've had multiple sessions, and you've always checked in to make sure everything is still okay. And I think people appreciate that because you're concerned also to a level where you want to give the best experience. It's not about sometimes like you reach a spot and it's like really tense, and it's pain end of the day. And sometimes people will say, oh, I want a medium, hard, or soft massage. And then sometimes you'll say, okay, today I'm here for a soft massage, but you need the, a little bit of medium or harder. So I think that between technology and the human touch, I think that's a difference.
Yeah.
So, and when did
adjusting
adjusting it to, I think to cater also for the need, not just the want of the client. It's what's
A little
required.
bit of both.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think people will change their minds a lot of the times too. They might come in saying, I want really deep pressure, and like, once we're going through the massage, I'll really notice that they cannot take deep pressure. So I'll always adjust it
All right.
as maybe they want light pressure, and during the treatment, they're like, oh, you can go harder. So yeah, it really depends.
Yeah. I know now. I know you. I know you as a person. I know you're an avid traveler as well, and you love your hiking, which is
I
part of
do.
your which is part of your your extra hobbies that you do. Why hiking?
Why? I think, well, I've always thought of it as you're kind of going through this journey to get to the viewpoint, and I love a nice viewpoint, so I think it's really rewarding when you get to hike there. If I'm just taking a gondola to a viewpoint, it's not the
Not the
same.
same.
Like, I want to work for it.
You love the journey. You don't,
I like,
and then your
I do.
destination feels better when you get there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and recently I did go on a trip to the Utah, Arizona area. I did a lot of hiking there.
Oh, nice.
And those hikes definitely made me appreciate the journey a little bit more. I think in Ontario, the hikes that we do, they're pretty easy. I would say
Yeah.
for this part, there's
Pretty flat. Yeah, not too bad.
pretty flat. The trails are well marked, paved, or they have nice like flooring for them.
Yeah.
But the hikes that I was doing there would be sand or rock, and I'd be slipping. And there were parts that we had to get on our hands and knees to scramble a bit. Or we also had some trails that were a little icy, and just navigating the different paths. Sometimes they were really badly marked too. So
So would
just
you say you're a bit of a thrill seeker?
things.
Would you say you're a bit of a thrill seeker?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it's part of the experience for sure.
Yeah. Any other experiences besides hiking that you feel exhilarates you?
Other experiences other than hiking?
It's okay if you don't. It's fine.
Like maybe some sports.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite hike?
I did some cool hiking in Norway
Oh wow, lovely.
once. Those were really nice. The viewpoints were beautiful. And the one I did just in Utah at Zion National Park, that
Yes.
one was a really nice hike as well.
Well, luckily you did it before all of this went down in the States.
Yeah. Just a week or two before.
Oh,
So
lucky. Can you
very
imagine
very
the,
tight timing.
yeah, can you
Yeah.
imagine the schlep of it now going, to the States now, and like with all those rangers and park rangers, being let go. Must be challenging time for actually people who do this as a living as well.
Definitely. I think we did talk to a lot of people along the trails, and everyone was so friendly. Even the smaller towns that we were getting food at, like no one really gave off any impression. They're just people that are living there,
Their lives.
So I'm sure it's a hard time for them as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's a sense of community
Mm.
as well. And within the RMT space, like, is it a big community that you each can rely on, or it's a very niche market?
It's a bit of both, I would say. I think you have to find your own community. I think it's nice to be working at a clinic where I can work with other practitioners and talk about things if we need to kind of discuss together. For RMTs that work maybe out of their home is like a solo practice, it can be a little bit harder, and you can feel quite isolated at times. So it really, I think you have to kind of build it and maintain the community. And I still try to talk to some of my friends from massage school, and it's really nice to have that discussion and kind of compare where we're at in our fields. And everyone works, they can work in like a different form of massage,
Right.
whether it's at a clinic or at a spa. It can feel like a very different occupation.
I guess spa related massages are a bit more for vacationists, I guess. No?
Yeah,
In terms of,
sometimes.
yeah.
I work at a spa once or twice a week. I work
Okay.
at a hotel spa, and I know I usually see you at the clinic.
Yes.
So it is a very different environment, and I do enjoy that I can work at two different places, and it gives me a break from one from the other. And I would say the spa is a little bit more quiet. I don't get as many bookings in a day compared to the clinic. I'm always fully booked, as you know.
All right.
So it's nice to get that break once in a while. And I think people will ask for a little bit different things. It's probably more relaxation based. Once in a while, they'll also ask for, like, they do have tension in certain areas as well.
Right.
It really depends on the person, but definitely I get more for like a celebratory event.
Okay.
They will come to the spa for a massage. Yeah. Versus at the clinic, it's a lot more of a preventative care, maintenance care treatment.
Holistic approach.
Yeah.
Okay. Looking back at your journey as an RNT and where you are now, what lesson do you take, or would you think is, has shaped you for
Mm,
who you are right now?
I think it's I just try to be open to new experiences. I think with massage, I get to meet so many different people from all walks of life. Everyone's doing their own thing. Everyone is, they have something going for them. And it's cool to see people that are doing different things with different hobbies.
Right.
And it's nice to be a part of that. So I think it's definitely made me more open. Can accept people for who they are.
I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
But
Thank
we can have these discussions the entire day, but
you.
so we can just continue going. But I know also, we press for time, and before we wind down this podcast, I just want to say thank you, for joining me on the podcast today. Really appreciate it. I've learned something about you, so thank you. And
Thank you.
thank you for sharing your journey with us. I really appreciate it. And before we go, I just want to do a little bit of a light round, quick fire questions. Just a one-word answer from you, if you don't mind. Answer the best as you can, okay?
Okay.
So,
I wasn't expecting this part.
yeah, just wanted to keep the podcast, a little bit of fun as well. Give it a little bit of fun edge.
Yeah.
So, the first question: what's your go-to self-practice?
Self-practice?
Yeah. Your self-practice, your self-care practice. What's your go-to self-care practice?
Going for a walk.
Nice. Tea or coffee?
Oh, I would say tea before, but now currently it's coffee.
Nice. And if you could describe massage therapy in one word?
Compassion.
Lovely. I love that. It is compassion. It's compassion for your soul, compassion for your body, compassion for your mind.
Mm.
It's an excellent answer. Thank you.
Thank you. I was expecting more questions.
No, but thank you so much, Melina. I really appreciate you taking the time out, and you know, I look forward to coming back to you for my next session. You know, if anybody is actually in Toronto or in Ontario and looking for massage therapists, please look up Melina. And where can people find you should they, want to seek your service?
You can find me at Restore Care Health. Yeah,
Okay,
that's
cool.
good.
I will also leave the link to in the description below, so you can book with Melina. And trust me, guys, you will go back. She's a really she's a gem of a massage therapist. You won't go wrong. And yes, guys, and until the next one, thank you so much for joining us, and hope to see you in the next one. And stay zen. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.